Welcome everybody, Pop Friction Super. Uh, got a new, well, it's not new, it came out a couple years ago actually, but I recently bought it. Actually, recently was a couple months ago. The Private Eye by Brian K. Vaughn and Marcos Martin. Sci-fi deal. Fantastic. I like a lot of Brian K. Vaughn's work. Not all of it. I loved Why the Last Man. I loved The Runaways. I loved his Mystique stuff. And there's something else I read of his, start to finish. I can't remember what it is though. But this is my favorite work of his. I read it twice in the last 2 days, just to see if I really liked it. Second reading is usually, okay, I do like it. Sometimes you can get wrapped up the first time you read something or watch something, just wrapped up in the spectacle, the experience of it. But I genuinely like this. This will go on my absolute favorites shelf. Here's the cat. Broody, you gotta go away. Cat making an appearance. Bruticus, leave me alone. This is just fantastic. You can tell by the cover, everybody in the future, this is maybe 60 or 70 years from now, everybody is a cosplayer, pretty much. From the time they leave their house to the time they go back to their home, they wear a costume. Some of them have several costumes. They have aliases they go by. It's just a natural part of life in at least the United States. I don't know about the whole world. But I kind of want to live in this future except for the cosplay shit, because there's no internet. The internet was a fad. Social media was a fad. Something bad happened involving the internet, and people just stopped using it. They shut it down, and the world got slightly better. But for some reason, people started dressing like this to have anonymity. Like when the internet disappeared, people were like, well, the people who used it back then were like, I don't like people knowing me because I live such a fake life online, as we all do. No one's real on the fucking internet. So people start cosplaying and shit. They don't call it cosplay in here. They call it, I can't remember what they call it, but it's like, I like the idea of no internet. I daydream about the internet disappearing. And if I had known this book was about that, I would have read it a long time ago. I think the internet is bad. Social media is bad. There's so many things wrong with the internet. It started out as a good thing, sharing information, and somewhere along the line it became this capitalist bullshit. It's ruined the economy, especially music. When you can download something for $1.99 and you don't go out to buy something for, say, $10, the same thing for $10, you really hurt the economy. That's why we've never really truly recovered from the crash of 2007, 2008. When you can shop online, you don't go out. Like, say, I remember numerous times I'd be like, oh, a new CD. But Pearl Jam just dropped another CD. I'm going out to get it. I'd take 4 or 5 of my friends with me. Some of them might have wanted that CD. Some of them might have wanted another one. And we'd go to one place. They're sold out of it. Right? So we'd go to and we might buy something there anyway. But we'd go to another place. Spend money in another place. Maybe they have it. We pick it up there. We stop and get gas. We all get sodas and candy bar. We go to 4 other places, spend a little money each one. We get gas. Again, we go eat. We might eat twice. Fueling the economy. That doesn't happen as often as it used to. Because you can just order that fucking album online, or you can download it online. And it's not just music, it's books, comic books. I ordered this online. I hated to do it, but I couldn't find it in any stores. Clothing, like it's not a good thing. And we all know it. And we're really starting to see the fallout from it. Netflix just lost, what, $18 billion in one quarter? Because people were like, fuck Netflix, I don't even really watch it. And they dropped it. $18 billion in 3 months. Insane. But it kind of makes me happy. Because I think soon we're going to turn that corner, and the internet and social media especially are going to start dropping off. People will start going out again. Some people are going to have a very hard time with it. People who walk around with their phones in their fucking faces all day. They even make fun of that in this book. There's an old man in the book. It's his grandfather, the main character, P.I. He's a private investigator. And he goes on and on about the glory days of the internet, and iTunes and all that shit. And they're like, you're an idiot, you're stupid. Your brain rattled from all the goddamn drugs they pumped in you when you were a kid. Putting you on pills and shit. What the fuck was wrong with your generation? You guys were stupid. You let the world go to shit globally and climate and all that shit. You ruined 2 or 3 generations of using the fucking internet. Social awkwardness and all that shit. You guys were fucking stupid. And of course he's like, oh yeah, like I'm going to listen to a guy who wears a costume all day. Because it's kind of stupid to dress up as. It's also kind of a critique on the cosplay community. And my stance on the cosplay community is, if you're over 21 and you're not in college or high school or whatever, if you're over 21 and you decide to dress up as a fictional character and go anywhere, even to a convention, there's something fucking wrong with you. Something wrong in your noodle, in your noggin, your bubble goose. Something wrong with you. There is. And there's more and more of those kinds of people. They're socially awkward. They don't want to go to a convention as themselves, the way they normally look and behave and act. Because they're so used to being fake on social media. They're like, I can't go there unless I'm cosplaying. Yay, I'm one of them kids, one of them fucking trolls from Homestuck. Look at me. People can't be themselves anymore. They don't know how. They haven't known how for 12, 13 years, really. This generation that grew up with the smartphone, having like really decent internet, access in their hand all the time, they're going to be the worst generation. We all know it. We see it. They know it. They'll bitch about me saying that on the internet, I'm sure. Someone will. It's a bad, bad thing, and we got to get over it. And when we do, like, print media will make a comeback, but they'll find a way to do it that's a little more cost effective. They'll have to. Some form of audio, like CD or something. CD sales are going up every year because people are they're starting to realize you're paying for nothing. You are literally paying for nothing when you download something online. You're like, well, I own it. I paid for it. No, you show me that you own it. Hand it to me. They'll hand me their phone. That just proves to me that you have a phone, not that you own anything on it. I own this. I bought this. This book is mine. Of course, I don't own the characters, but I own this book. I own all my books. I own all my CDs. They're mine. I really don't even own this video because it's on a fucking phone. I don't own any songs on there. Don't own any photos. If I print those photos out, got proof that that photo is mine. People are starting to realize this slowly. Next 10 years or so, it's going to gain momentum. The whole anti-internet movement thing is about to happen. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, The internet will still be there. It's not going to disappear unless something catastrophic happens like it did in here. But I think we would be better off without it. I'm old enough to remember what the world was like without the internet. And it was just so much more fun. I had so much more fun back then. The world seemed so much bigger, more wondrous before the internet. Yes, I know there was internet when I was a child, when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. But I'm talking about 10 or 12 years ago when it became the thing. Everyone had internet at home. Everyone had a phone you could get on the internet with, a little flip phone. But it sucked. It was slow. And then out comes phones like these that have every goddamn thing on them that you could possibly want or need. Shit you never use. You got apps on your phone right now you've touched once, if that. Because you don't need them. It's all bullshit. The internet is ruining lives. Internet porn ruins lives. Like when you're 6 years old and you can get on a free porn site, that's not a good thing. There's something wrong. It's not good, people. The internet is bad. And I know it sounds weird coming from a guy making a video and putting it on YouTube. I'd be fine without YouTube. I'd be fine without Facebook. I'd be fine without Amazon. I'll find something to read. I don't need to go to Amazon. There are bookstores still. There's nothing. Bookstores crumbled because of the internet. CD stores crumbled. Technology stores have crumbled. Like stores, and just it's bad, people. And this is kind of what this book is about. It's a mystery, kind of a critique, not just on the ills of the internet generation. A slap in the face of some cosplay people. And even make fun of some furries. The artwork's really good in this. Look. Cassettes. Because cassettes came back. Mixtapes specifically, but there's CDs, there's records. They have an iPad. They find an iPad in here. I'm not sure exactly where it is in here. And they're like, why did anybody think these were better than books? This is stupid. And it is stupid. People don't read anymore. Not enough people. It's such a... Speaking of things people don't do anymore, when did they stop teaching children how to write in cursive? And it's one thing to teach them not to be able to write in cursive, which I think is bullshit. They should definitely have to. It's an artistic expression, honestly. Loops and swirls and all that shit. But it's one thing to not teach them how to write in it, but I know several kids under the age of 14 that they cannot read cursive. They can't read the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. They can't read any of that. They just look it up online. And who's to say 20 years from now, they slowly, the next 20 years, they start changing what it says online. Because nobody will be able to read it any fucking way. Devious things. Another thing I don't like about the internet, there's no paper trail. That's not a good thing. If we keep using the internet in 20, 30 years, nothing will be printed and saved. And in 1,000 years from now, after our civilization collapses, they'll think we just disappeared overnight. Even if civilization as we know it lives for another 300, 400, 500 years, there'll be no paper trail. I think that's a sad thing. But I do recommend this. Got a good flow to it. There was not a boring part in here. It's really engaging. Like I said, it's Brian K. Vaughn's best work, in my opinion. And like I said, I like Why the Last Man, and that's one everybody praises and just fucking loves. And I love Saga. Saga was the one I couldn't think of. I enjoy Saga, but this one is phenomenal. I like the format too. This was actually a web comic that you can still go to the. Just look up the Private Eye by Brian K. Vaughn, and it'll take you to the website. And there's several web comics up there, and you can read them for free, or you can donate a couple bucks so you can support that website. I'm not a big fan of web comics. I miss the Sunday comics. The current state of the world saddens me, depresses me. I miss, you know what I miss? And I'm too old to do it anyway. Cruising. Remember cruising? Getting in your car with 4 or 5 of your bestest buddies. Going driving around and around in circles. Looking for your other friends, and then you find them, you hang out all night. You go do this, you go do that. You spend the money, you stimulate the economy. But I miss that. I miss seeing the kids do that. You never see people cruising anymore because you don't have to. You don't have to go out and try to find your other friends. You just send them a text message. Where you at? Where you at, ho? What you doing, bitch? And he texts you back, oh, I'm here. All right, I'll be there in a minute. OM dub. We're ruining ourselves. We're ruining the planet. We're ruining commerce. We might, in the next 50 years, we might have to actually convert to communism because everything's going to be automated. Look at McDonald's. Look at Taco Bell. They have those automated screens. That's the first step to eliminating cashiers. Get rid of cashiers, you don't have to pay them. Then they start automating the line. Get rid of the workers that make the food. We'll just use machines to do it. And then that eliminates them. They'll have one employee there, and it's just to maintain the equipment. It'll all be automated. Then there's untold millions of people out of jobs. And then no one can afford to buy your fucking McNuggets. They're not thinking long term. They're thinking, how much profit can we make by eliminating these people in the next 15 years, the next 20 years? We'll save this amount of money. It'll all be profits pretty much. But then they're not thinking, well, if we eliminate all these jobs and every fast food place in America or the world goes that way, we're fucked. We'll have to go to communism. We'll have to give universal pay. We just give everybody $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month ain't shit. Most people can't live on $5,000 a month. Go to New York City and try to live on $5,000 a month. You can't fucking do it. You can barely do it. You do it around here, where I live. I live like a fucking king, $5,000 a month. What you don't realize is the price of everything will go up. So $5,000 a month will be poverty level. The internet is eliminating the middle class. That's a problem. Rich people don't buy the way middle class people do. Poor people can't afford to. The middle class stimulates the economy. The middle class is what made the economy grow to the heights it was 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. And the middle class has only existed twice. Here's a history lesson for you. Twice in the history of humanity. It's always been poverty level poor, rich, super rich motherfuckers, kings, dukes, lords, all that shit. Millionaires, billionaires, poor people. That's the way it's always been, except for twice in the history of humanity. The first time there was a middle class was after the bubonic plague outbreak. That created a middle class because there were opportunities for people who survived the plague to move up, to advance, create their own stores, shops, make their own money. That was the first instance of a middle class. It eventually died off. The second time we had a middle class was after World War II. The biggest example of a middle class was after World War II. So many people died all over the world. It created a global commerce unparalleled in history. You could come back home from war and you could get a higher paying job. You could make your own business. You could become something, create your own fortune because there wasn't as much competition. The internet is killing that. Yes, you could say, oh, well, people can create their own businesses online and shit. 90% of those businesses fail, online or not. 90% of startup businesses fail. So why take brick and mortar shops are the best way to go? You can argue with me on that. Go ahead and try. You won't change my mind. Arguing doesn't change anyone's mind. But I highly recommend this. This really made me think. Well, it made me think more about things I had been thinking about for years. Like I said, this is going on my absolute favorites. I might read it again tonight. Just interesting, really good storytelling. I want to live in a sort of version of this world. Like, the cosplay's got to go. People got to stop cosplaying. You've ruined conventions. I'm just going to ramble on. This video's already 20-something minutes long. I'm going to do a video soon on the death of the comic book. Remind me of that, people. Like, it's coming, but it's... anyway. The Private Eye, Brian K. Vaughn, Marcos Martin, Mustafa Vincenti. Peace.